Welcome, Term 5, Lesson 7. Questions on slides 1, 2, 3 are for those who feel they know enough to answer the questions. If you'd like to pause, write down the questions, provide the answers. The answers will be given at the end of this session. So, slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. Okay. Everybody else, including myself, if you'd like to pause this slide and then answer the questions, and then we will go through the answers in a bit. Okay, welcome back. Fluency, what is the formula for the area of a rectangle? Well, here we have a rectangle. Oops, rectangle. To find the area of the rectangle, we normally have length and the width. And we say the area is length times width. So the area equals length times width. Here we have another rectangle. Here we got using this time a base, and this is a height. Still the same, so length of base, height or width. But being a triangle, it is half of a rectangle. Being half of a rectangle, well, area equals half times base times height. So half BH for a. Now, come over to a trapezium. What's the formula for the area of a trapezium? I've got here is a parallelogram. A parallelogram is really a rectangle, but the sides have come from here, that's been pushed over. So here we can say this is the base, but when we look at the height, it'll be a perpendicular height, not this diagonal line here. This diagonal line here has nothing, no length or height. It has what we need is something called a perpendicular height. So the perpendicular height. And a perpendicular intersects this line here at 90 degrees, where this line here does not act on the bottom line at 90 degrees. It's more than 90, or its top line less than 90. So here, the area of a parallelogram is area equals base times perpendicular height. Trapezium. A trapezium here. If I put another trapezium next to it, what shape do the two trapeziums make? Most here is a parallelogram here. Turn it around. Parallelogram. So these two trapeziums together make a parallelogram. The area of a parallelogram is base times perpendicular height. So we got base times perpendicular height. But we've got two of them. So we take one away, we've got half. Yeah, do that again. Take that one away, end up at half. Half the base. But the base here is quite long, and the base there is quite short. So what we do is call the top line A and the bottom line B. And we say half brackets the length of A plus the length of B, close brackets, times the perpendicular height, or H. So we end up with the area equals half the length of A and B added together. Add them together and divide by 2, which means that you get the mean of the length, top and bottom, and then you times it by the perpendicular height. So the area of a trapezium is A equals a half a plus b, I'll put that in brackets, by height. Okay, question 2. Use the formula S equals nt to work out the value of S when. So S equals nt, n equals 5, t equals 3, so S equals 5 times 3, so S equals 15. That's A. B. N equals 0, t equals 4, S equals 0 times 4, anything times by 0 is 0. C. N equals minus 4, t equals a half. So S equals minus 4 times by a half, or 0.5. Half of 4 is 2, so S equals minus 2. Question 3. Equations. A. X plus 12 equals 25. To get rid of the 12 this side, we need to take away 12 on both sides. 12 take away 12 is nothing, so just got X equals 25, take away 12 is 13. B. 3x minus 4 equals 11. To get rid of the minus 4, we need to add 4 to both sides, so we add 4 to both sides. End up with 3x equals 11 plus 4 is 15. Then to get rid of the 3x, we divide both sides by 3. 3 times x divided by 3 is x equals 15 divided by 3 is 5. C. X over 2 equals 12. Division, the opposite, the inverse to division is a multiplication, so we times everything by 2. So we times by 2 on both sides. That becomes x equals 2 times 12, 24. Done. Question 4. As I said before, the area of a parallelogram, we got 5, area parallelogram, area equals base times perpendicular height. So A equals 5 times the perpendicular height is 4. So area equals 20 centimeters squared. B. Triangle. Area equals half base times height. So area equals 1/2. Base is 4. Height is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Half of 12 is 6. 6 centimeters squared. C. Trapezium. Remember the trapezium? Area equals a half. Length of A plus the length of B divided by 2 times by H, height. So area equals a half. Bracket. Top line is 2 plus the bottom line is 6. And the height is 3.75. 2 plus 6 makes 8. Half of 8 is 4. The area equals 4 times 3.75. Now I'll come to my multiplication. So 3.75 times by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 3 is 12. 0. 2 and 8 makes 10. Put down 0, go to 1. 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 is 5. And 1 over there. So 4 lots of 3.75 is 15. So the area equals 15 centimeters squared. Okay. Question 5. Use the formula to work out the value of m and f. Before we do that, I need to show you a couple of videos. Right. On first.
Using formulae. Antonia uses this formula to work out her weekly pay. Total weekly pay equals number of hours worked times 12 plus 40. Last week, Antonia earned £412. Work out the number of hours Antonia worked. The formula is given with total pay as the subject. This means it would be easiest to use this formula to work out the total pay when you've been given the number of hours. In this question, you've been given the total pay and you need to work out the number of hours, so there'll be a few more steps. Start by writing out the formula using algebra. You could use T for the total pay and H for the number of hours. Write number of hours worked times 12 as 12H. You've been told Antonia's total pay for the week, so you can substitute this value of T into your formula. 412 equals 12H plus 40. This is an equation which you can solve to find H. Subtract 40 from both sides. 412 minus 40 is 372, and you're left with 12H on the right-hand side, and then divide both sides by 12. You can use a written method to work out 372 divided by 12. 12's go into 37 3 times, because 12 times 3 is 36, with a remainder of 1. And 12's go into 12 once. So 372 divided by 12 is 31. So H equals 31. Antonia worked for 31 hours. Check that your answer makes sense. 31 is a sensible number of hours to work in 1 week. Changing the subject of a formula. Part A. Rearrange this formula to make Q the subject. W equals 7Q minus 100. The subject of a formula is the variable or letter on its own on one side. So at the moment, W is the subject of this formula. To change the subject, you have to rearrange the formula to get a different variable on its own on one side. It's a bit like solving an equation. Start by getting rid of the minus 100 by adding 100 to both sides. It's a good idea to write down the operation you're using at each stage to keep track of your working. To keep the formula correct, you have to do the same thing to both sides at each step. So W plus 100 equals 7Q. 7Q means 7 times Q. So to get Q on its own, you need to divide both sides by 7. Make sure you divide everything on the left-hand side by 7. You've got Q on its own on one side of the formula, so you've finished. Write your answer in the form Q equals. Part B. Rearrange this formula to make V the subject. D equals M over V. You want V on its own on one side. At the moment, v is on the bottom of the fraction, and that's tricky. It will be easier to work with if it's not, so start by multiplying both sides by v. On the left-hand side, you'll have dv, and on the right-hand side, you'll have just m. Now there are no fractions. You can divide both sides by d to get v on its own. v equals m over d. You need to write your formula as v equals m over d. Don't just write m over d, because on its own it wouldn't be a formula.
Okay, welcome back. Question 5. Use the formula f equals ma to work out the value of m. So, F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. A equals, so F equals 24, A equals 10. We want to find out what m is. So first of all, let's rearrange this equation here. So what we're here at the moment is F equals ma, and we can get rid of A. We divide both sides by A. To get rid of m, do the same as well. We end up with divide both sides by m. So F equals m times A. Divide both sides by A. We end up with F over A equals m. So bring this back into our equation here with F, which is 2.4, so 24, sorry, and A, which is 10. That's what m equals. 24 divided by 10, so m equals 2.4. B. I know what A is. F equals m times A. Divide both sides by m. We'll end up with F over m equals A. To put that to the information here, F is 54. 54 divided by m, which is 12. So 54 divided by 12. Ooh. I'll stop. 54, 12. Oh, that's not one, but so 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. So 12 goes 4, 48, 6 remainder. So 8 take away from 14 is 6. Decimal place. Bring down 0. 12 and 60 go 5. So the answer is 4.5. A equals 4.5. Question 6. Question 6. The area of a triangle is 12 centimeters square. Substitute the values into the area formula. Work out the value of B. And remember, the formula for a triangle is area equals half base height. So area equals half base, we don't know, which is B. The height is 3. Area equals we now want to get the area is 12. So rewriting this out, 12 equals half times B times 3. We're going to get rid of half and the 3. Now what's half? get rid of the B. Put the B there. Get rid of this. So half of 3, 1.5. So 12 equals 1.5 times B. Because half of 3 is 1.5. Then you divide both sides by 1.5. Then 12 divided by 1.5 equals B. Now, how many 1.5s in 12? 1.5 is actually 1.5. And 12 divided by 1.5. As a decimal there, I don't really like decimals in it at all. So to get rid of the decimal, I'll times it by 10. I end up with 15. And I times this 12 by 10, I get 120. So how many 15s in 120? How many 15s in 0? None. How many 15s in 12? None. So we still have to do this sum. So 15, 30, 45, 60. Well, no, 2 60s are 120. 4 there, so the answer will be 8. Don't believe me? 75, 90, 105, 120. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer is 8. So B equals 8. B equals 8. Question 7. The Skate Hire Company uses the formula C equals 3H plus 10 to work out the cost C of hiring skates for a number of hours. Soria paid £16 to hire skates. How many hours did she hire them for? So, question 7. C equals 3H plus 10. So the cost in our case is A equals £16 equals 3H plus 10. Equation, get H's on letters on their own, get rid of this plus 10, so we take away 10 on both sides. So we end up with 16 take away 10 is 6 equals 10 take away 10 is 0, so just 3H. Got 3 times H, so we want to divide both sides by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so there's H. So the answer is 2. H equals 2. B. Luke paid £21.50 to hire skates. How many hours did he hire them for? £21.50. So C equals 3H plus 10. So 21.5 equals 3H plus 10. So we now need to take away 10 on both sides on this one. 21.5 take away 10 is 11.5 equals 3H. So now we need to divide both sides by 3. 11.5 divided by 3. 3's into 1 go. 3's into 11 go 3. Remainder 2. 3's into 25 go 8. Just check my calculations here. 10, take away 10 both sides, 21.5, £21.50, £11.50, £11.50. 3 is into 11.50. 3 is into 0, 1 gets 0, 3 is into 11, 3 3s are 9, remainder 2, 2, 25. 3 is into 25, go 8, with 1 remainder. Another 0. 3 is into 3, go 3, with 1 remainder. Keep on going. So we end up with a recurring decimal. So he borrowed skates for 3.83 recurring 3 hours. Now, 0.83 of an hour. 0.83 of an hour. Let's get my calculator out for this one. 0.83 of an hour. An hour is 60 minutes. Yep. Yeah. 0.83 times 60 minutes equals 49.8 minutes. Rounded to the nearest minute will be 50 minutes. So he bought the skates for 3 hours, 50 minutes. Not an easy question to do without a calculator. Question 8. The theme park charges $10 for entry plus $5 per ride. Write a formula to work out the cost at C for entering the theme park and going on R rides. Susie goes on to the theme park and goes on 8 rides. How much does this cost? And C. Ahmed spends all day at the theme park and spends $85. How many rides did he go on? So, first of all, A. The theme park charges £10 entry, $10 entry and plus $5 per ride. Write a formula. So cost C equals $10 entry plus $5 per ride. There you go, $5 per ride. Susie, B. Susie goes to the theme park and goes on 8 rides. So C equals 10 plus 5 times 8. C equals 10 plus 5 times 8 is 40. So C equals 50. So Susie, which will be right round, spends $50. B. C. Ahmed spends all day at the theme park and spends $85. How many rides did he go on? So total cost $85 equals 10 plus 5R. Equation 10 this side, let's get rid of the 10 both sides, so minus 10 on both sides. 85 take away 10 is 75 equals 5R. Get rid of this, divide both sides by 10, so by 5, sorry. Divide by 5. So 75 divided by 5. 5s into 50 is 10. That leaves 25. 5 into 25 goes 5. That's 15. So 15 equals R. So he goes on 15 rides. Here's the answer to the questions.